Welcome into another edition of the Acadiana Postgame High School Football Forecast. We have 4 weeks in the books, which means we're approaching the midway point of the season. We got some huge matchups this week, but first, let's get into your 3 stars of the week from last week. Our first player is long overdue. It's Carencro quarterback Carl Randall. He hit a bunch of different receivers last week as Carencro dropped over 50 points, throwing touchdowns to Eric Tolliver and Mondarius Poulard. If you get too caught up trying to stop all the weapons, guess what? Carl will take off himself. He has some of the best pump fakes in the entire area. Look out if you're trying to stop Carencro. Next up, we have Tenarius Achan from Como. Even though they lost, Tenarius pulled in over 10 catches and 200 yards. He's the high school version of Antonio Brown, so look out. You don't need size to moss a bunch of DBs. And then we have Seth Kerstetter from Ascension Episcopal. Seth scored 3 touchdowns last week, 1 on a kick return, 1 on a punt return, and then 1 with his hands. Way to get it done, Seth. Now, let's get into your 3 matchups. Don't let records deceive you in our first matchup of the week. It's Breaux Bridge versus Carencro. The Tigers might only have 1 win on the season, but it's because they've been playing absolute monsters every single week. The task won't be any easier this time around facing Carencro with Carl Randall, Mondarius, and Kendarius Poulard and all their other talent on the defensive side of the ball. But Julian Leon at QB for Breaux Bridge is big time, man. I'm telling you, he can really air it out, and he's got serious targets on the outside too. Breaux Bridge would love to get their second win, but they're gonna have to stop Crow, which is a lot easier said than done. Now on to game number 2. In game number 2, we have Eunice versus Rayne. Eunice sits at 3-1 with wins over Opelousas, St. Martinville, and Crowley. But they're gonna have to stop a Rayne team that is 4-0. That's right, make it rain. Darian Harmon had 227 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. So look out, if you don't stop him, it is going to be a long night. I know the folks out in Rayne are partying, and if they move to 5-0, they might not stop. On to game number 3. For game number 3, we have the Acadiana Wreckin' Rams and the Sulfur Golden Tours. The Rams have had 2 straight weeks of absolutely crazy games. One finished on a Hail Mary and the other on a 2-point conversion. So we'll see if the Rams can top that. Ziggy Francis is starting to get things rolling behind their offensive line, and as long as they don't fumble, they're always dangerous. On the opposite side, you have a Sulfur team that also relies on the run heavily with Jacoby Skinner, and they also survived a 1-point victory against Como last week. Both of them are 1-0 in District 3 5A play, and who knows, this one could actually determine the district. You can hear that game on ESPN 1420. Don't forget to listen to Breaux Bridge versus Carencro on Planet Radio 1051, and of course, you can catch Ascension Episcopal on Talk Radio 960. Can't wait to see who comes out on top this week, and remember to keep up with AcadianaPostgame.com for all your high school football needs.